So, all right, Steve.
Cool. Thanks, Doctor. So everybody, I'm Steve, and told you before, I started out my career in tech group, went around the world. Now I'm finishing my career here at SOF North. Figured out what I want to do when I grow up, and I figured it out. I'm going to start the next brew club in Colorado Springs, and it's called Triple S Brewing. I think I gave you all a card. It's got my logo and info on there, and it's going to focus on beer education. So what's Triple S going to look like? So I want to mix the pubs of Europe and the coffee shops of America, put them together into one. From the pubs of Europe, I want to take the fact that it's in your neighborhood, the fact that it's your third place, the extension of your living room. So, you know, mom, dad, dogs, cats, kids, everybody is in there hanging out, just having a good time socializing. From the coffee shops of America, I want to take the free Wi-Fi, the cool, funky, awesome space to hang out, do your homework, meet your friends, conduct your business. And of course, on site, I'm going to be brewing and serving excellent craft beer. When you walk into my place, either me or my servers are going to look at you and they're going to say, ask you a series of questions, maybe 3 questions, dial you into a beer that you'll love, and then pair it with the food that we're going to have. So what allows me to do that? I'm a nationally recognized beer judge, and I'm a Cicerone certified beer server. You may not have heard of that. So it's a pretty new program, but what a sommelier is to wine, a Cicerone is to beer. So those 2 credentials together make me somewhat of an expert in beer, and I want to share that with everybody in Colorado Springs. I mean, who's gone to the liquor store and done this? Looked at the wall of beer, right? Don't you wish you had somebody there that could just ask a couple questions and go, I know what you want. So that's going to be the value proposition of my place. That's what you'll come to my place for. All right, so Steve, why do we need another brewery in Colorado Springs, right? Well, guess what? Colorado Springs has the 4th largest population of craft beer drinkers out of all the cities in the United States. So you go to Seattle, Portland, Denver, and then Colorado Springs, right? 2 of those joints, 2 of those cities are right here, within what, 60 miles of each other. And so that's 10%. 10% of our population is known to drink craft beer, the kind of beer that I'm going to serve. That's 43,000 people I know are going to be customers already. So that's 43,000 right off the bat. So what's my target demographic? Who do I want in my brew pub? So anybody from 18 to about 65 is gonna like to come to my brew pub. They're probably going to make around $35,000 or more. That means they have a little bit of disposable income, and they'll pay a little bit of money for a good quality drink. Now, I'm not going to serve just beer. I'm also going to do craft soda. I'm going to do coffee. I'm going to do some alternate fermentables, like if you've heard of kombucha. It's a Japanese fermented tea. Might dabble with some sake and some other alternate fermentables. So there'll be something for everybody when you come in there. So how many is that? That's 78,000 households that fit that demographic that I could draw from. But we need to narrow it down a little bit more. Who's the craft beer drinker? So right now, the craft beer drinker is a male, 25 to about 45. Typically, they got a degree, typically white-collar job, typically make around $50,000 or more. That's your connoisseur guy. That's the true beer geek, if you will, right? So that's my core demographic. Now, last October, Mintel is a nationally known market research firm. They did a survey across America, and they found out that 49% of the people they asked in this nationwide survey said they would try craft beer if they only knew about it. Well, that's where the beer education comes in. Again, they walk in and do this. I'll go, hey, you want light or dark? Bitter or sweet? Big alcohol, small alcohol, boom, boom, boom. Oh, you're going to want my stout. You'll love it. You know, and it'll pair with this food that I'm going to have. 49% of the population. Colorado Springs, that's about 200,000 people. 200,000 people that I can draw in. So I've got my core demographic, and then I've got this huge door that's wide open for people that I can bring into my brew pub. All right, let's talk about the competition. Yes, there's other brew pubs out there. There's, in fact, 15 in Colorado Springs. The newest one just opened up in Manitou Brew Pub. Go check them out. They're doing great things. So I see Bristol Brewing, probably you've heard of them, and Phantom Canyon as my 2 biggest competitors. Bristol Brewing, why? Because they've got the biggest mind share. If you go, hey, what's a good brew pub in Colorado Springs? Everybody in this room is going to go, Bristol Brewing, right? They, again, got the biggest mind share. They're at every event, every tap. You go to any festivals, they're all going to be pouring Bristol beer somewhere. So, you know, I'm going to have to break into that. They're going to start thinking Triple S, Bristol, Triple S, right? Phantom Canyon, I see them as a competitor as well because I think they got it right. I go in there, I talk to the bartender and the wait staff. They can actually talk about the beer. They don't just go, oh, it's beer flavored beer, I don't know. They actually know what all their beers are, what they taste like, and you know, whether or not you might like them. And I figured out their secret. Their brewer gives them sheets for them to memorize, which is brilliant, brilliant, awesome. Tap houses and bars. Some people say, oh, those are your competitors too. I say, no, those are places I can sell my beer. All right? My excess capacity, I'll put it in kegs, boom, sell it to them. I'll have a tap, potentially in every bar. So those are not competitors at all. Let's talk about some numbers. Colorado Springs has one of the most densest population of breweries. One per every 30,000 people in the state of Colorado. Let's compare that to Europe. Franconian region of Germany has one per 5,000, right? Brewery in every neighborhood. I know a lot of us have been to Europe, so we know. Yeah, we know what it's like over there. I want to replicate that here. I want a Triple S brewery in every neighborhood. So let's compare to coffee shops. There are 20,000 coffee shops in America, 7,000 wineries in America, and we had this little thing called Prohibition that knocked the number of breweries and brew pubs down to 0. And we just last year surpassed that number, the pre-Prohibition number of breweries, yet our population has quadrupled since then. We only have 2,700 breweries, right? 20,000 coffee shops, 7,000 wineries, there's only 2,700 breweries or brew pubs. Any business that makes beer in America, population's quadrupled. There's room for more, definitely room for more brew pubs. All right, so investors always want to know, is this going to go big? You know, how much money can I make? Is it scalable? Absolutely is. Just like I told you, I want to see a Triple S brewery in every neighborhood. So I'd like to franchise it. Make one, make it good, and then make a bunch. Make a network all over Colorado Springs. So for sure, it's definitely scalable. I'd like to end just by saying that the package market, like you go to a liquor store, just walls and walls of beer, that market is becoming saturated. But having a brew pub in your neighborhood, the local market, totally wide open. All the brewers that I've talked to, Mike Bristol included, said there's totally room for a brewery that you could walk to that's in your neighborhood. So that's Triple S Brewing. I'm planning on opening up in January of 2015. I'm already looking at a site in Old Colorado City. Do you have any questions?
So you said, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, yeah.
Why Colorado? Why Manitou?
Well, looking at Old Colorado City, I really would like it to be walkable, and that's become very difficult. We're not like Europe. We don't have quite the dense population, but the next best thing is Old Colorado City. People drive there and then walk. So I like that. I want to make that happen.
Why 18 to up as far as age?
So I figure if you're 18, you've got a little bit of money and you can drive yourself. So you're going to potentially come to this place. If you're under 18 and you can't drive, Dad's going to be like, why are you going to a joint that serves beer? So,
Well, why would they? For coffee?
Sure. Again, that's kind of the coffee shops in America, the free Wi-Fi, you can hang out, meet your friends, you know. And because I will be serving food as well, that allows anybody to come in. It's not limited to 21 and up. Yeah, you probably know, for sure.
What's that serving gonna be like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So beer education is going to be the focus. There's going to be a lot of, things to teach you about beer on the walls. You know, what are the different colors? What are the different flavor profiles? What are the different hops? What do they taste like? And then, yeah, that is a very excellent question. I haven't quite dialed it in yet. But it's definitely going to be contemporary. It's not going to be like, you know, Irish pub or, you know, English pub. It's going to be an American.
Like that rustic modern with the iron? Wood iron back?
Potentially, I'm thinking more contemporary. If you go into a Starbucks or a coffee shop, kind of that's a little what I'm pulling from there for sure. Yeah.
One of the things you could take a look at, it's called recycled granite.
Huh?
Colorado recycled granite. It's owned
Yeah.
by Jerry Johnson. And it's
Okay.
really- I was going to have my whole bar done.
Nice.
What he's done is he takes the pieces they couldn't use, the granite,
Yeah.
and he's got a machine. He chops it up into these little bits, and it looks good.
Nice.
Look at his website. He
Okay.
right off the bat, he's on like Bath Thrashers and several others.
Okay.
I mean, you can't not like it. You see it, and it's cheap.
Sweet. Yeah, grants.
An entire bar run was like $5,000. Like from, so, yeah.
Great, great.
It'd be something I'd look into for interiors.
I'll check it out for sure.
Do you have a brew on site?
Of course, yeah, that'll be part of the focus as well, is the brew house will be there, and of course brewery tours for anyone that wants, pretty much anytime, you don't gotta schedule it, just.
I just came back from Springfield. My
Okay.
son's in a Christian city, and they have a brewery. They have the tours,
Yeah,
and they give you as much as you want, but people are staying. They have like a beer garden.
yeah,
They're doing great business in a town that doesn't drink beer.
that's awesome. Yeah, good for them. Beer is a social lubricant,
I love beer.
and it's recession proof.
So, Steve, I have a question here. I mean, you kind of mentioned that there's 15 other brew pubs out
Yes.
there which are established, so why would I be willing to take that risk into your company while I could go to one of those 15 establishments? What's going to set you aside in order for me to invest in the company?
Again, it's the beer education. Does that exist anywhere here? Have you ever gone anywhere and go, I don't know what I want, what's that beer like? And have they told you what it's like?
I'd take the cheapest one.
Well, okay. Don't be priced.
Cost effective, Jay, cost
Can of PBR tastes
Yeah.
the same all over the world.
Generally, generally the wait staff knows the prices. Generally, they do not know what the beers are about. Typically, what I get is, I don't know, that's beer flavored beer. And from a beer connoisseur, really kind of chaps my hide. So I'm gonna teach people about beer.
Yeah, because it goes back to me making that investment. I mean, there's high risk in there. How are you going to assure me
There is.
that I'm going to get profit or revenue within the first year if I do partner with you?
So if you're interested, I can show you the financials. Number one. Number two, fully realize that, yeah, well, I've got, you could say, managerial leadership background. I don't have a restaurant background. Well, I've mitigated that risk. I've hired Tom Hennessy as a national level brew pub consultant. He's out of Ridgeway, Colorado. Everybody in the industry knows him. When I say Tom Hennessy, they go, oh, okay. And that, that mitigates a lot of fears for a lot of investors. Got something?
Business question.
Yeah.
In the state of California, you can get beer and wine license, you can get a liquor license for all liquor. How does it work here in Colorado? Would you be serving full bar? Would you have a full bar? Would you just have beer? Is that all you plan to have for alcohol?
Two different licenses, the brew pub license, and then yes, you have to get a separate liquor license. I'm definitely, obviously, going with the brew pub license. I may move into the liquor license, and I may do some more higher end, like scotches, whiskeys. I'd love to do some local whiskeys. There's tons of distilling going on around here.
That's huge.
So I'd love to get that in, but obviously I got to get the brew pub license first, and then I can work on
I
the.
think that the licensing would be easy. I
Yeah.
got a lawyer for you if you.
Okay, sweet. I'd love to hear.
It's John's lawyer.
Okay, love to hear.
So,
Yeah.
so I have a question for
Yes.
you. Image.
Yes.
How are you gonna manage the image so that, as a parent, I'm comfortable with your establishment being in our neighborhood or city and being a hangout? Maybe I drink beer, maybe I don't, maybe it's, all different types. But the kids want to go hang out there.
Sure.
So we hear this place is coming in, it's like Starbucks, and all the kids want to go there and get free Wi-Fi. And as a parent, they're freaking out. What do you do with that?
Yep. Excellent question. In order to get your liquor license, you have to go around, you probably discovered this, you have to petition everybody within a certain radius.
Okay.
Now you can pay people to do that, or you can do it yourself. I can do it myself, and I can, look, here I am, this is what I've done, kind of give them a similar picture of what I gave you. Hey, I'm an Army officer, right? I carry some weight, especially in this town.
I was gonna go with my family.
Sure.
My lawyers, just walk the neighborhood with your family and meet people.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yep. So that's one angle. Of course, establishing that, it's not a crazy party bar, I'm not gonna have a dance floor, and it's a little bit higher clientele. That should alleviate some of those fears. And especially if mom and dad come in, they're gonna say, oh, this is a pretty nice place. Yeah.
What are your hours?
Right now I'm looking at 11 in the morning till about 10 or 11 at night. That's kind of typically when most of the brew pubs are open around here. So I get lunch, dinner, hang out after work.
and that's when
That's
that's
it.
shut too. It's after, I mean, about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock the calls. About 2.
Somebody's ready for lunch.
I think the closing early like that, opening up at lunch, I think that's smart in managing that image.
Sure. Yeah, that's a
It'll
great
be
point.
better to be able to sell your neighborhood.
Right, you're not getting the DUI numbers, you're not getting all that.
Well, especially if you have a restaurant in connection with it.
Right, it will serve food. With the brew pub license, you have to do 15% of your revenue from food. I would want to do food anyways, because otherwise people have a drink, get hungry, and leave. So having food keeps them there longer.
How do you market something like that?
Yeah, excellent question. All the brew pubs typically do what we call guerrilla marketing. The Brewers Association is right up here in Boulder, the national level trade organization. Got a lot of stats from them. $8,000 is what most brew pubs put towards marketing, which is nothing. So here's what I got going on right now. I got a Facebook page, right? Everybody's got to have that. This video is going to be on my YouTube channel. I'm already talking to the Chamber of Commerce to get my name in their book when people come in and say, hey, what are the brew pubs in town? Hey, here's this, that, and the other, and triple S.
Business Alliance and love your team.
Okay, okay. Business Alliance. Yep, so I know a couple of people that work at the Gazette, get an article in the Gazette. I know a couple people work at, or that are willing to write articles for the Colorado Springs Business Journal. Put an article in there. These are all free things that get my name out there. And then, of course, word of mouth is the absolute best. Having a beer release party on the 3rd of April, and everybody's invited. The only way to get invited is through Facebook. Or through, I've got a, for those that don't Facebook, I've got a list of about 160 people, no, it's up to like 200 now. 200 people on my mailing list, and I got a list of about 40 investors. People that checked the little box said they're interested in investing. So that's
If
what I'm
there's
doing
only
right
a
now.
way to destroy everybody in group,
Yeah, you're right. I did give it to Don Bennett. You familiar with him?
oh yeah, I'm on this.
Yeah. Yeah, what you got?
I just need to know.
Let's say like if you're looking at branching out eventually into distilled spirits,
Yeah.
like I'm working on my head right now. My brother is the second distiller on the first ever legal distillery back home in Minnesota.
Awesome.
The owner is from up around Golden, Colorado, right here, Panther Distillery.
Okay.
With that small town thing, I mean, those guys cannot keep stuff on the shelves. They just now